Hi, I'm Kelly Neff, and I'm your guest today on Music Studio Live.
Rolling. Here we go.
Hi guys, my name is Darrell. I'm a drummer and producer, and I started a podcast with my friend Sarah called Music Studio Live. Together we talk with singer-songwriters and music makers about all things related to music. We hope you enjoy the show, and here we go. Hello everyone. Welcome to Music Studio Live. We are unable to broadcast together because of the quarantine. But you know what? We have a great show for you because... Oh wait, I'm Darrell Nutt, and you are...
I'm Sarah Hadeka.
We had the pleasure of playing with a great singer-songwriter before the quarantine. Her name is Kelly Neff, and she brought a bass player. Actually, we could tell the story about how the bass player was involved. AURORA Notes. She's an awesome upright bass player.
Love her, love her.
Right, and great singer. You guys sang three-part harmony on these songs, and it was awesome.
That was so amazing. It's so amazing. And you know, every time I listen to Everything But the How, I crack up because of how long it took us to rehearse that delay in the harmony. There was maybe, I can't remember, it's one or two words that Aurora and I don't say, and it was so hard.
That was my idea.
It was good. That was awesome. I loved it. I just have such lead singer syndrome, whatever that is, where I don't think that way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't omit words. So it was really hard. It was my fault that I kept saying that, but it was great. It came out amazing.
Well, we know that the media has been obviously overwhelmed with this virus that is all over the entire world. So we're just going to say, everybody stay safe and
stay healthy.
Have a laugh, enjoy music. There's tons of live music all over Facebook and YouTube and live streaming. And Sarah's going to be on. You're going to do it weekly probably.
I've been doing something every week. It's everything's kind of different because that's how I roll. But tomorrow I'm going to be
with technology today.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know. I have, I've been watching a lot of live streams that are kind of the same every week. So I feel like it's cool. I love it. Do your thing, you know, and everyone out there. But I'm like, you know, I'm going to change it up. So tomorrow I've talked to all my neighbors. I'm going to play outside in my driveway and I'm going to live stream that. And last week, I did kind of like a virtual open mic thing. Which was super fun. I played all original music and whatnot for that. And then the week before that, I did like a very cut and dry live stream, which was just, you know, like inside.
It was dark and cool.
Direct audio, dark, yeah, like a nighttime kind of vibe. Yeah. But anyway,
I'm not doing any live streams because nobody wants to hear just the drummer play.
Well,
but what I have done is with some friends of mine, with Matt Baxley and David Johnson and Ray Nesbitt, we are collectively in our own studios putting together like a 2-minute original funk jam.
That's cool.
We're in the middle of that now because we're all recording it separately in the video and piecing it together. And so we're having a little bit of fun with it.
That's awesome. I love that. And you know what's really, really, really great about all of this is that you know, people are really coming out of the woodwork to support. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. Actually, it was really depressing to me yesterday. I was filling out an application for a grant. You know, just there's a lot of like nonprofits out there that will help working musicians and gig workers and things like that. So I was like, what the heck, I'll try.
I got turned down by 2.
What's that?
I got turned down by 2 already.
That's actually surprising.
Well, the specifications, the fine print was different things than what my situation is. So.
Oh, interesting. Well, at least you heard back. I mean, I feel like, you know, with the government, we don't even hear back and we can't call anyone. But anyway, other than that, I think that it's amazing. Anyway, I was filling out this application and I was having to put all of my lost gigs on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't look at it until then. And it was
And we don't even know how many because
so bad. It was so bad.
yeah.
So anyway, so it's been so good having, you know, like on the flip side, it's been so good to have so many people just supporting. So, and being cool. It's awesome. I love it.
And make sure you check out Sarah's Facebook page. You can watch her live streams. They'll be on her wall. You know, they'll still be there on their timeline.
Yep, you can find me. I do have a music page. It's just Sarah Hadeka, facebook.com/sarah.hadeka. Or you can friend me, you know, until I reach my maximum. But it's Sarah Hadeka Williams on Facebook. That's usually kind of what I use because I don't like the way that Facebook represents pages. But anyway, yeah, so you can find me there. But I was going to share a funny story real fast.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because, I mean, it's just, I don't know, being quarantined is very, it's interesting, especially with 3 kids. I mean, I am just as busy as I ever have been. So, I mean, really, I don't know. I don't really notice a difference other than I don't drive my car. Anyway.
Right.
So my car's just sitting in the driveway and I'm home. But anyway, like right when the quarantine started, I got my hair cut, right? Like right before. My bestie, Christina, I put this like little shave part back. I had it for a long time and I let it grow out and it's back. But anyway, I was at home after we were stuck in quarantine for maybe, I don't know, a week. And I was like, well, it's like grown out quite a bit. I need to shave it. It needs it again. But anyway, I go and I start shaving it. And I like do a few runs. And I was like, wow, this is a lot longer than I thought. So I cleaned the clippers off. And I forgot to put the guard back on.
So
and
you shaved your head.
There, I went, and I was like, in the mirror. It was horrible. It was horrible. I shaved my head to the skin, and then I just started cracking up because I'm like, you know, no one's going to see it.
Did you take a picture? We can put that up on the screen.
I did actually. Yeah, you can put it up because it's pretty funny.
Oh,
but I know I did. It was like a blood curdling scream that I let out for that. Wow. So anyway, you can tell right now that I need someone to talk to other than my family because I can't stop talking.
That's fine.
Daryl, what have you been doing?
I've literally been working in the studio and catching up on projects that need to get done. Some of them don't pay any money, but they just need to get done. Yeah. Actually, today I got a project that does pay money, so I'll be working on that soon. And yeah, just watching a whole lot more TV than normal when I get home at night.
What do you watch, Netflix?
I watched Tiger King.
Oh, yeah.
I watched all of Dead to Me.
Okay, I haven't watched that, actually.
It was a very twisty, crazy plot. And I watched.
Is that Christina Applegate?
Yes. Okay,
I watched the first episode, and Hamish, my husband, he was like, no, that's too girly.
Well, it's girly, but boy, does it have some twists.
I've heard it's really good, so I'm gonna have to.
It does get really good. And then I watched the one where the girl has a superpower she can't control. I'm not okay with this.
Don't know.
Like that.
I pretty much just watch like murder shows. So I don't know why.
I wouldn't think that of you for some reason.
I know, isn't it so weird? But right now I'm watching Narcos Mexico. That one's kind of old, but I'm just finishing. I have one more episode left of that. And then, yeah, and I watched Tiger King before that. I mean, I don't know. I guess I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more crazy.
Well, it was more crazy. And that footage is... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it had a little bit more potential to be insane.
And it was. There's a bunch of, I think there's like a half hour of footage on TMZ. They did a special of a bunch of stuff that was cut out because it was going too far.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I thought he was over the top anyway and not a big fan, but anyway, okay.
Super weird.
So we thank you for watching. our show or listening to our podcast. You can always watch it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/musicstudiolive. And we should mention the Patreon. I know there's a commercial in the episode for our Patreon, but we're putting all kinds of bloopers and behind the scenes things, extra songs. We're adding an extra song this week from Brian that was on.
Yeah, I love Brian.
That was awesome song. So look for that. It's only $3 a month.
It's less than Starbucks, people.
Well,
you can't even go to Starbucks anymore. So, well, I guess you can.
Well, here's what you do. You join, and every month you have a cup of coffee at your house until this is over.
Exactly. Perfect. Good point. I don't know. I did go to Starbucks during the quarantine, like initially, and I felt really guilty.
Yeah.
So I haven't been back. But anyway, we also really, really want to thank all of the crew that we have here for the podcast. I mean, just Brett Billman is just amazing. And I mean, just, it's
Our
so
new buddy, Matt Steves.
Yeah, we love Matt Steves. I mean, he's just amazing too. So, I mean, my gosh, we're just so fortunate.
Well, and I've even made them, associate producers of the show. And I put their logos up at the end. We're not making any money, so everybody's a producer.
So, since we're not making any money, if you want to donate to us, we'll take it.
Please join Patreon. What a segue that was.
Woohoo!
Okay, well, we hope you enjoy this episode with Kelly Neff. She's fantastic. And Aurora Notes on upright bass, and Sarah and I. And these songs are very moving, and they're presented very well in an acoustic setting. It's really awesome.
Yeah,
so,
and do yourself a favor and go, if you're local to here, go see Kelly if you haven't, because she's incredible. So
when we can go see people.
Oh yeah, true. She's on Facebook. She's streaming on Facebook during lunchtime. It's creative.
And binge watch all of our episodes. This is going to be episode 10.
Do it, guys. We
have one more in the can that hopefully we can release legally pretty soon. So that'll be fun. So, okay. Well, let's do high five. Well, I have to do it this way.
My hands disappearing.
I'll put in a clap sound.
I'll blow kisses.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we hope you enjoy the show. It's so awkward doing it this way, but it is what it is. Enjoy the show.
Baby, that can be just like us.
Would you like to have access to extra songs from our guests, photo galleries, bloopers and outtakes, and behind-the-scenes footage? Well, you can. You can go to patreon.com/musicstudiolive and select the Backstage Pass tier. It's only $3 a month, and you can have access to every bonus feature from every episode that we have. So, go now and get your Backstage Pass to Music Studio Live. Patreon.com/musicstudiolive.
You're tuned into Music Studio Live.
Let me make sure my necklace clasp is.
Okay, so that was one of my questions. Can you play that little tiny harmonica?
Yes.
Can you play it right now?
Save it for the podcast.
This is the podcast.
We haven't started yet.
We're starting right now.
Apparently. Yes. Wow, apparently we started with a harmonica.
Well, this is why, so if people ask me if I play harmonica, I say a little.
Oh my goodness. So we have Kelly Neff here.
Yeah.
Hey.
And that was a weird way to start the podcast, but there you go.
Leave it to me.
So we just recorded 2 of Kelly's songs that I had never heard before. Mm-hmm. I will throw this out there. I did produce your first CD.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of that.
Technically my third, but first 2.
The first one I produced.
Yes.
So we're going to play those, and we're going to talk about those songs too today.
Cool.
But before we actually dive in, how are you, Kelly? I don't get to see you very often anymore.
I know. I feel like I haven't seen you in years.
I know.
And I couldn't be any better.
You've been doing some traveling?
A little bit of traveling, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little this, a little that.
A little this, a little that.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything is good.
Where did you grow up? Let's just start at the beginning.
Well, I grew up in Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. Okay.
And then spent a few years of that in Germany. My dad,
Really?
Yeah, Dad was in the Army band, so I think he had a choice of either Germany or Atlanta. He picked Germany.
Same thing.
Same basic thing, same weather.
What did Mom do?
Mom was a stay-at-home mom for quite a long time.
Siblings?
Yes, older and younger sisters. I am the middle.
Oh.
And I heard that you have the dimple on the left side. Your other sister
Yes.
has the dimple on the right side.
Yeah, she's
I
got
see.
she's got the other one. She's got the
That's cute.
yeah. We've only got one. She's on the other side.
So we're coming off of you opening for Melissa Etheridge. You did the Melissa Etheridge cruise.
Yeah.
So you got to play your original songs for a pretty decent crowd.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a fantastic experience to not only be an artist in the lineup for with just powerhouse performers and be stuck on a boat with Melissa Etheridge and Sarah McLachlan for 7 days, which
Wow.
did not suck. And I just met so many wonderful people, so many great performers.
And you probably
so
got to
many new
see how
friends.
hit-making people, how their band is, how they react to people, how they,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're both stars
Oh yes, the
and amazing songwriters.
Right.
the level of excellence, like they are so consistent, and I was able to. I don't know how many people can say that, like how many times in a row that they've seen an artist, but I watched, I watched during the at the event center where I opened for her. I watched her show, and then I watched the same show, and then I watched another show, and then watched the same show, and it was. You wouldn't have known that it was two different nights because they are so consistent and so like on.
They're
it,
pros.
and
That's how pros
it
perform
was so
shows.
great.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a rhymer. That's how pros perform shows.
That's so great. Yeah.
So I do have a question here that pertains to your youth from Richie Ramirez from Lucky's.
From Richie.
Oh.
Where in the world did you get a hold of Richie?
He
Ramirez?
wants to know when or at what age did you know that you had talent to not only play guitar and sing, but to interact with your audience in the style that only you can do?
Yesterday. No. Well, I started. I always wanted to do something really great, and I started playing the guitar when I was 12, and
Okay.
there was always something. There was always something pulling inside of me to perform or entertain, even though I never really wanted to be the center of attention.
I got
So-
that vibe from you when we recorded the record, that you had to come out of a shell a little bit to do some of the things in the studio even.
Yeah, because I don't like cameras in my face. I don't. The only time I really
We have
like
9 of them here on your face.
yeah, there's a lot of cameras. But the only time I really like to like be the center of attention is when that's my job. You know, when I'm standing in front of a microphone, when I'm playing my guitar, like that's when everything comes down and I can just let it all out. But other than that, I'm usually pretty shy and quiet, and I would rather watch everybody have a great time and just sit back and observe.
So 12 is when you picked up the guitar. What about singing?
I was always singing along to stuff, and I never did. I was never in band in middle school or high school. I was never in chorus. I couldn't read music. I still can't read music. I might be able to save my life if it came down to that, but it was just something that I'd always done as a hobby. But inside, I really, really wanted to just perform and just like be on a stage. And
Did you write your own songs at 12?
no.
When did you write your first song that you felt was worthy of playing out or playing to somebody else? Not necessarily in a concert situation, but
That probably wasn't until like 2000, like
Okay.
99, 2000. Up until then, I would just learn. I would like get an album that I loved, and I would just learn it cover to cover.
I love that feeling.
Yeah, I think the first one I learned cover to cover was the Metallica Black album.
Oh, wow.
And then
That wasn't
just-
my
No,
album.
it wasn't yours. That's okay. But then I just expanded horizons musically, and I was brought up around all different kinds of music, and I don't really stick to one particular style. But the first song that I wrote that I wanted to sing was probably around 2000.
Okay.
And then I moved, I was in my very early 20s and I moved to Atlanta because my dream was to play at Eddie's Attic and
I don't know Eddie's
make
Attic.
it.
What is Eddie's Attic?
Eddie's Attic is a place in Decatur, outside of Atlanta, where the Indigo Girls used to play. Michelle Malone played. All the kids from Sugarland. They were all doing solo stuff there.
Oh.
John Mayer was there. So it's a platform for really great songwriters.
I have heard of that
Interesting.
place now that you say it.
Yeah, and every Monday night they do a open mic, and if you win, then you get called back to do the quarterly shootout, and then there's the annual shootout.
Oh, wow.
And so that was an eye-opening experience for me. I did it once the entire time I lived in Atlanta, and I was so scared.
I bet.
I played two songs and forgot to unplug my guitar when I walked off the stage. I was so embarrassed because I was just
Perfect.
stage fright, horrible stage fright.
Did you play original songs?
I did.
Wow.
I did. I couldn't tell you which ones they were, but actually, I might. No,
They never showed up in your first 2 albums?
I don't remember.
That's 20 years ago. What do you want?
Yeah, I was so scared. But I did go back, just to say, okay, well, I lived there for about a year and I only did this once and it didn't go the way I wanted it to go, and so I'm just going to go back and do it again. And I did, and I got a really, really great result there. And it was
good.
It was one of the nights. It was towards the end of I don't remember what year it was, but it was towards the end of the year. It was like coming into or out of a holiday weekend, and there were so many people there, and they picked 3 finalists at the end of the night to come back and do one more song, and then they picked the winner.
Semifinals kind of.
Right. Well, they ended up with 7 finalists that night because
wow.
the judges the random people that they pulled to judge, they were like, we can't just pick 3. And
So it wasn't Simon Cowell.
no, it was not. Maybe it was, but so I was one of those, but I was not the finalist, and I think they ended up picking 2 or 3 finalists that night because it was just they just couldn't.
That's cool.
They just couldn't pick. So that was really special.
That's good talent
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, lots of good talent, and people from all over the country come and do it. So it's really great to hear the different styles of songwriting and to see the different skill levels and the different age groups, and to see the people who are terrified. But in that, to see the support of the whole room, because it's a room full of songwriters, and it's a listening room, and you're not allowed to talk. And if you do talk, it has to be real quiet. And they're like, if you want to have a conversation, go outside.
Definitely not the places I play.
Definitely not the places that I play either. But so it's a really special place, and there's a lot of history on the stage. So
Cool.
it was really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know something about you that the world probably doesn't know.
Do I know?
Yes. It's not a bad thing. You like to do woodworking.
I do. I love it.
And I've seen pictures of some of your stuff, and it's pretty amazing stuff that you've done.
Thanks.
Like what?
I build
Furniture.
furniture.
Headboards and stuff?
All kinds of stuff. When I didn't have any furniture at one point, I didn't have anything, but I had access to all kinds of wood and as many wine crates as I wanted. So
I thought you was going to say as many wine coolers as you wanted.
no, the wine crates were empty. They didn't have any wine coolers in them. And so I ended up making my entire bedroom set.
Really?
And I still have the nightstands. I tore the dresser apart to make something else. But then, I made a sofa table and end tables.
I think that's
and-
amazing.
Yeah, I just made all kinds of stuff. I just made 2 farmhouse tables because Rebecca had
The
all.
real big kind?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
dining room kind of
Yeah, the one I made for our dining room is 100 pounds. And then
Wow.
some friends of ours saw it and they're like, we want one and we'll pay you.
Yeah.
So I just
Perfect.
put the last coat of polyurethane
I want
on it.
one.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, I'll cut you a deal.
So you have some tattoos, and that has started to become a theme with our little program here, because Sarah and I, neither of us have any.
Really?
I just got one.
You did?
No.
I didn't. Explain what's on your arm. What does some of these mean?
Well, okay, so the first So I've got a bunch of birds. We'll talk about the birds first because
Okay.
that's what most people see that recognize
Black
the
Crows?
first. No, I got
That's a song from her album that I produced.
That's good. That's a good lead into that. Very
like that
clever.
song.
But these are swallows, not crows.
Oh, sorry.
But the I got 8 on the back of my arm, and that was a like representation of my family, my sisters,
Oh,
my
okay.
parents, and my grandparents. And it was the idea behind that was they're all going in different directions, and I can't always see them, but I know that they're there. And
So the back of your arm,
they've all got my
them.
and they've all got my back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I think I got like 24 total because I decided
wow.
to include. I think that was the last
Which
thing I
one's
did.
about me?
You're the one that's flying into my armpit. There's one that goes
That's appropriate.
underneath. That's what, yeah, I thought you might like that.
I thought it'd be the one on your butt.
I don't have one on my butt.
That was on the
Daryl.
other
She doesn't
podcast.
have a butt.
I don't have a butt.
Okay. Next topic on Music Studio Live. Actually, let's talk about the first song that we recorded, Retrograde.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot of meaning. There's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of people, and I don't want to discount anyone's belief system. I'll just say that first. But there are quite a few people that when everything is going wrong, they're like, oh, well, Mercury is in retrograde, so it figures. And I kind of got tired of hearing that about, everybody blaming Mercury for things going wrong. And I'm just like, how about you just take accountability and just like, because a lot of times, like nobody wants to. And that's like that's part of the song is like, it's easier to blame outside sources for everything going wrong than it is to look in the mirror and say, hang on, maybe I'm the one who's going backwards.
I learned that lesson a year ago.
Like, I think we all have learned that lesson at some
Totally.
point that maybe it's time to look in the mirror and say, well, maybe
What's the common denominator on all of my problems? Me.
bing, yeah. And I wrote that out of a moment where I think all of us have experienced that moment where we kind of lose our faith a little bit and we don't really know what to do. We don't know which way is up and we don't know how in the world we got to where we are.
Why me? Why me?
Yeah, and it's just it's just kind of an explanation of that, and then going towards the end, like and that's kind of what I'm about. Is like I know the sun's going to come out, I know that everything's going to turn around, and I know that there's possibility out there, but you just have to go through what you have to go through first, and sometimes you do have to just lay there for a minute and just give yourself that that pause and give yourself a break and give yourself time to breathe and ask yourself those questions like, how did I get here? And what do I do now?
What can I do about my future?
Yeah. Did I lose my faith? Did I lose my way? Like, how am I going to get, am I going to get this back? Am I going to come out of this? And how long is this going to last?
So Retrograde actually is very similar to the other song we did. The what, when, wow, why.
Everything but the how.
Yeah, everything but the how. I mean, they
Yeah.
are related topics.
Yeah, they kind of are. I wrote Everything But the How before I wrote Retrograde. Retrograde is one of the more recent songs that I've written.
That's a catchy little phrase. Just tell
Everything but
everybody
the
the
how.
phrase for everything but
Everything But the How. I'll find my way when I drop the who, what, when, where, and why.
Yeah, who,
Yeah.
what, where. That's
where,
such
when,
a
and
love
why.
that.
What,
So
where,
good.
yeah.
That's a great poetic, whatever the word is, thing.
Yeah, where did that come from?
So I've done a lot of personal growth work, and there's a lot of questions that get in our way. Like for me, I'm an analyzer, so I'll just sit and I'll just start picking everything apart. I'm a human computer, and I'll worry about this. I'm like, well, what about this? And how do I do that? And who? And there's all those questions that, of course, from an English major standpoint, that create the fabulous essay of the who, the what, the when, the where, the how, and the why. And it's like, okay, well, all of that just creates the cloud and a fog, and you can't really see your way through it, or I can't see my way through it. And so if I get all of that stuff out of my way and get out of my own way and just get to the how, like get to, okay, well, how am I going to do this?
Reaction, take charge.
Right.
How do I do this now?
Right. How do I do it now? And then the other questions can come later, like, okay, well, what's the first step and who can I call for support? But it's like, if you're trying to figure all of that first, like,
Gotcha.
Right.
we all just get in our own way. I know I do every day when I'm just trying to figure out, okay, well, what am I going to do first? I don't know. I don't have to go to work until like 8 o'clock at night. So what do I do now?
Before I lived with Lisa, my girlfriend, I could literally wake up, eat, take a shower, and be out of the house and to work or wherever I was going in 20 minutes. Now, and it's nothing to do with Lisa, it's just where I am and my routine. From the time I wake up to when I can get to the studio, it's an hour and a half. And I don't know why.
You're a girl.
Okay.
You've become a woman.
Well, this is a girl power type episode. I do want to give a shout out to Aurora for playing bass with us today. She's actually here
Yes.
in
Such a
the
treat.
studio with us still.
And singing.
Fantastic.
And singing, and just awesome. It's the first time we've interacted in this kind of situation, and it's awesome. So thank you so much for doing that.
That was a lot of fun.
It
So much
added
fun.
it added a lot to the whole
Yeah, the songs are good.
ensemble.
It's a lot of smiles tonight, which
Yeah.
is really good. Yeah.
And tonight was the first time you said you had 3-part harmony with girls.
Yeah, in
a live situation,
In a live
yeah.
situation like this, where we have not done this, we haven't collaborated before, where it was just on the fly.
Well, you just met
and, like,
Aurora today, right?
Yeah,
For
we
the
had a
first time.
phone conversation. Was it yesterday?
Oh, okay.
Or the day before? Yep. And that's it. And then we just talked about it. And then I did my absolute best to give her charts and breakdowns because I don't speak that language. I'm like Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder.
And you and Sarah speak that language 100 times better than me and you put together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
so
know how to
ironically,
drive.
we had a rehearsal earlier today. So at the end of the
For a different
rehearsal,
project,
for something
yeah.
else, yeah. At the end, we're like, let's go through Kelly's songs.
Oh, that's awesome that you guys did that.
So we sat and redid that.
They didn't cheat, they prepared.
perfect.
So
There's a
great.
difference between
It was so
cheating
good.
and preparing.
I felt great.
Well, that's awesome because I was just excited to hear what you guys would come up with because, like I was telling you on the phone, like I love
Yeah.
the interpretation, like
Yeah.
when especially when it's a room full of people who are all fantastic, but we haven't done it together like this. Like it's so wonderful to hear the
love that too.
interpretation.
That's what studio musicians feel quite often. Because if you're in that situation, typically everybody else is at a high level, and everybody's ideas just kind of do this typically in
Yeah.
that situation. It's great. It's a great feeling.
It's really great. It's really great. I don't really want to.
So let's go ahead and play Retrograde
Okay.
by Kelly Neff.
Thanks. Where is all the light gone? Did I lose my faith? Will I find redemption? Will I find my grace? Maybe I'm falling down one too many times to see. I could spend some time on my knees. Baby, I'll just stay down there for a while. Just take some time to breathe. I don't know the answer. Or even who to ask. How long have I been bleeding? How long will this last? Oftentimes it may seem so easy to blame the ocean for sinking the boat. Then again, what if we are the way, and I am the one who's gone rogue? Blame it on the season. Blame from the rain. Everything looks perfect. Nothing here feels safe. Take a step forward, then take two more back and watch everything go up in flames. Blame the moon, blame the stars, blame Mercury. What if I'm the one who's retrograde? How long have I been here? Did I lose my way? How long have I been sleeping? Have I been away? When the dream fades away, I wake up and find I am still on my knees. Breathe it out, breathe it in, rise up, fan the flame, fire that lingers in me. Oh, I could fly away from here. Oh, I could fly away from here.
For more information on Kelly, visit her Instagram at Neffy77 and Facebook at kelly.neff.5. So, Kelly, I do want to mention the fact that I probably 5 or 6 different people a few years ago were saying, you need to meet this Kelly Neff girl. She's phenomenal. You need to produce her. You totally will get her music. And I never went to your gigs or anything. I think I found you on Facebook, possibly.
I think we were Facebook friends.
Yeah, we became friends that way. But I walked into Space 39 randomly with Lisa, and guess who was playing a solo gig? Kelly. She was sitting at the bar, and did you approach me or did I approach you? I forget what the
You approached me.
what the details were. I
You
said
had said to the bartender, you were like, "Who's playing tonight?" And
That's
I was
right.
like,
you were right next to me at the bar,
"Yeah, that would be me."
and I think I said I'm Darrell, and
No, you were like, "Well, what's her name?" I'm like, "I'm Kelly Neff," and you were like,
you're the person I'm supposed to meet.
"I'm Darrell Nutt," and I'm like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah, you made a big deal about it, actually.
No, you did.
My recollection of it was that I think we were both excited to meet each other in person. And then only a couple months later, we were working on a project, your album together.
I was joyful
Yeah.
to finally meet you.
I think that was just after we met. Is that,
It was all around the same time.
could that be?
Yeah, because we all, I don't remember.
You kind of broke in the scene.
You and I
around-
met
Yeah.
at Ex Eclectic in Naples.
Sounded
Oh,
bad.
and
Ex Eclectic.
and I was literally, when you guys were meeting at that, I was around the corner playing the Wine Loft. And I walked down because
Oh, at Venture X is where we were.
yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't go in or anything. I was on break, but I was talking to Corey outside.
Oh,
he was
yeah,
doing
yeah.
he was doing
running
something there.
sound
Yeah,
there,
running
probably,
sound.
Yeah.
So how ironic that we were all in the
Isn't
same
that
place
funny?
at Mercado at the same point.
Yeah. That was awesome, though. That was so good.
That was so much fun. The
best.
We need to do that again.
Yeah.
So Sarah, you have a question for Kelly.
Well, okay. You're very happy right now in your life, right?
Yeah.
So, isn't it really hard to write songs?
Yes. No.
No?
No, it's hard for me to write happy songs.
It's just hard to write happy songs.
I'm really good at writing sad songs.
Okay. So, how do you draw that out of yourself when you're in such a good place, right? Because you're engaged, which, yes.
Yeah.
I hope I can come to your wedding.
I think you.
Do you need a band for your
an
wedding?
Invitation.
We got one right here.
I'm not allowed to work at my wedding, and
Well, that's okay. We'll work for you.
if you guys want to work for free, because all musicians want to do that.
Okay, next topic. Next topic
Moving
on
on.
Music Studio Live.
Moving on. But really, how do you draw that out of yourself? Because I find that tough. Because I'm happy. I find that it's
hard to write when you're
get
happy.
Inspiration.
Yeah. So here's what I do.
Okay.
I still write about sad stuff. I just make it sound happy.
Oh.
So part of the next album that I've got groundwork for it, and I've got songs, like these songs are what I want to put on it. The last album, About Face, was about a turning point and about getting all of this negativity out of me. I'm really good at writing breakup songs, but I also know that what you think about, you bring about.
And each song was from your travels too, from different relationships,
Traveling
different areas.
through relationships, yeah, and time and loss and all, just a lot of stuff. And I finally got it out of my system because when you have that stuff inside of you, it's like you got to get it out, you got to release it somehow. And I'm really happy that they're all recorded, because eventually I won't have to sing them anymore. I mean, of course I will, but like.
Oh, that's an interesting take on it. Yeah.
Because and I don't.
They mean a certain thing to you.
They mean something so different to me now, and they mean something to everybody who listens to them, which is really, really cool to hear the interpretations of what people think they're about and how they feel about them. But moving forward, a lot of people are like, well, you're really happy and you should write about love. And I'm like, I feel like I should be on the Mickey Mouse Club. And
yeah,
it's just not, I'll probably get there, but I decided that since I was really good about writing sad stuff, I still have a lot inside of me about grief. And so a lot of what I write about now is tapping into that grief in order to get that out of me. Because whenever I would go through a breakup, I would write a song about it, and I would feel better because I could get all that energy out into the music. And then I thought, well, maybe it's time to break up with grief. Like, maybe I can write breakup songs about grief, and maybe I can get some of this pain out of me and keep.
That's a great attitude.
I like that. Yeah.
So, and Everything But the How was written at a time where I was on the tail end of a relationship, but I didn't want to write breakup songs anymore. And you were actually on the album,
right?
On the song that I always call the last breakup song I ever wanted to write. And
what was that song called?
Here in My Bed.
Here in My Bed.
Yeah.
I say that only because...
Listen to it, people. It's so good.
Well, I'll put the little graphic up for your album right there.
So good.
But so it was challenging to... And then after I wrote Here in My Bed, I wrote that after a breakup. Then I was in another relationship, and then I broke up again. And I'm like, all right, I have to do something different. So I literally changed my tune. And I started writing Everything But the How at the tail end of that. It took me a year to finish it.
Because that is a positive.
It's a positive. It's about possibility.
It's an upward song.
Right. And that's kind of where I went from the end of that relationship. And I was just so done with everything. And I was done with repetitive, I needed to do something different. And so I literally changed my tune. I started singing like the cover songs I sang. I started singing different cover songs.
Oh, okay.
And I started writing differently. And I started playing my own music less because it is so dark and it needs to be for the purpose.
It is what it is.
Yep.
And then I got stuck again, and I thought, okay, well, what can I do? And then I came up on, I think it was another anniversary of my father's death, and I was really up against it with it, because I miss him every day. And then I said, well, and I just like had a couple lines of another song come, and I just started bawling, and I'm like, I need to start writing this down.
Yeah. And
so I have written several songs about grief and how I feel and letting it go and moving forward. And so it's a challenge, but I try to do it in a way now that is upbeat and positive so that I can still have it fun and have it be like a really good groove and really good music, but within it is that message of, hey, it's okay to be sad because it isn't going to last forever, and it's okay to move forward. Like, because I think that's the misunderstanding about grief is that people are just like, well, you just got to get over it.
No, if you don't do
and
it,
you got to move
you're
on.
not going to get past it.
Right. You can't. You don't ever really move on from it, but you can move forward, and that's totally different. And it feels a lot better than moving on, because when you move on, you really don't. You just bury it. So
You bury it, yeah.
but moving forward, and so that's just kind of where I'm at now, because the relationship that I'm in now is the healthiest I've ever known. Our communication is great, and we just like each other on top of like just being nuts for each other. It's just really great. And so I'm safe in a spiritual sense, in an emotional sense, in a relationship sense. Like, I'm safe in all those areas. So the stuff that really hurts, that comes up. And I know that I'm safe, so it's easier for me to talk about it now. It's easier for me to write about it now and to be honest with it now. And it's easier for me to face the things that I didn't want to look at before, where I was so focused on something just as toxic, just as negative, because I didn't want to look at this. And it's time for me to do that. So I hope that answered the question.
That's
have you
awesome.
ever written a song that wasn't from a place for you? Like you know how people write screenplays for movies and
Right.
stuff. It's nothing to do with them. They're writing a story. Have you ever written a song that was just a story, not even about somebody you knew, or just telling a story because you heard a cool lyric that came to your head or something? Because that takes all of your emotion out of it, really. You're right.
I made them all up. Yeah, they're all stories. I made them all. I think.
I'm just curious because some songwriters write about other people. It's not so if they're in a good place or a bad place, doesn't matter. They're writing about.
They'll extract it.
They're extracting it from another situation.
Yeah, I've tried to detach from
Or third
from it.
person.
Fourth,
That was a joke
was
we
it
had
fourth
earlier.
person?
Fourth person.
Fifth. I'm going to write from the
0%.
From the
17th person.
17th
Yeah.
person.
I think I tried a few, and there was one that I had written that I saw a friend of mine going through like a breakup, and I was fine at the time, so I'm like, man, that really sucks, and I was just.
Let me write a song about it.
Sorry about
That really
you.
sucks.
Hopefully they don't notice.
Sorry you got dumped.
Did you write a song about it?
Yeah, I did. I started, but I never really finished it because it was awkward and weird because it was something I couldn't relate to, but I was trying. And it was still a breakup song, so of course I could relate to it.
Yeah.
But it was like, it almost felt for me, because I was writing about somebody else's breakup, that I felt like I was intruding. Even though nobody knew
who it was
that I was
about.
writing it about somebody
Right,
else.
yeah.
Nobody knew.
That's funny.
But it was like, I don't really want to touch that.
So are all of your songs about breakups?
No.
I feel like there's one that I played on. It's what is that one song on your album? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, you're talking about Bully. You're talking about
Yeah.
That is not.
That's-
That's not about a breakup.
Right.
I love that song.
That the musician speak.
That's the one that That's the one I never play live because it sounds for me like
So
it was
that-
more
that's-
complicated to play it than it was.
That song sounds like a screenplay, a story that could be turned into something.
Do you want to know what it's about?
Yeah. Totally.
Turned into something.
It's so funny.
Visual.
I was playing on it and I never asked you.
Well, the song Bully is about addiction from the perspective of a bully.
It was originally called Addiction.
Yeah.
And we changed it.
We changed it to bully, yeah, because if you really think about it, if you suffer from addiction, it really is a bully.
Oh, he's right here the whole time.
The whole time, so I guess that would be a song that isn't about a breakup. Like the whole thing is like a metaphor.
It is a breakup from addiction.
Have you suffered from addiction?
Yeah, I still do. And I thought for a long time that my addiction was something other than what I thought it was and what other people thought it was. But I know that my issue is moderation. And it's not, it's across the board. It's with
Everything, yeah.
It's with everything. And so at first I thought, well, I'm addicted to misery or I'm addicted to feeling bad. It's like, no, I just have a problem with moderation.
You're human.
Yeah,
Right,
So,
exactly.
and it's so funny because some people don't. Some people are just like, well, I'll just have one beer and then I'm good. And I'm like, how do you do that? And then I learned
Because they don't hate themselves.
Right. Well, it isn't just that. Like I learned how to do that, but then it's cheeseburgers. Like I would eat cheeseburgers
Oh,
for
yeah.
breakfast. I love cheeseburgers. Like I would eat them every day.
I feel a new song coming.
Cheeseburger. I think somebody
Cheeseburger,
already wrote
cheeseburger.
a song about cheeseburgers.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner burger.
Yeah, like or chocolate chip cookies. Like I will just sit there.
There you
Or Thin Mints.
Ooh.
How do you only have one?
I don't even
You
have one.
can't.
You can't. You eat the whole sleeve. Before you know it, then you eat the sleeve, and then you hate yourself. Even if you didn't hate yourself before, then you're hating yourself because it's just you just ate your whole sleeve, and there's only one sleeve left, and there's only a limited time.
Wow, this has
you
been
can have
an
them.
issue. I can
No,
tell.
every day struggle is real. Girl Scouts, man.
Wow.
No, but like the gym, like when I'll go to the gym, and instead of like doing a responsible and effective workout for like 45 minutes, I'll be there for 2 hours going, what else can I do? And I'll do that. And then I
thought
won't
you were gonna
understand.
say you
Like,
sat there and ate Thin Mints the whole time.
The smoothies. Smoothie bar.
no, it was tag-alongs that time.
But you're just there for 2 hours watching other people? Like
No, actually working out.
Working
Like,
out.
I'll-
You are
yeah.
working out?
And,
that's good.
because I don't know when to say, okay, that's enough.
Oh.
I see.
I've had enough. Or like if I'm sitting outside by the fire and I'm freezing, like it's okay to put the fire out and go inside. Like it's okay, and I think it comes down to like over. Like it's okay that it's over.
This-
It's okay
this-
that the
Yeah, yeah,
fire
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
over.
This event is over now. It's okay.
It's okay that the 3 cookies are over, and so it's really a mind bender if you really get into it. And that for me, like that is the issue. It isn't about substance. It isn't about activity.
Right.
It's the
I
issue
get
of
that.
of letting go of that feeling of it's okay that it's done.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay that it's over.
I have a kid like that.
yeah.
All
Yes.
of my relationships ended that way because I couldn't let him go. I couldn't.
Right.
It wasn't
Right.
okay that it was
Right.
over because there was something about
I
it
know about
being
one of them that
over.
while we were doing the record, or just after we did the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some brotherly and sisterly talks during that time. I didn't say much.
I refer to those as the dark times.
The dark times, yes. So at this point, I'd like to play the second song that we did.
Great, because that'll lift us right up out of
There
this
we
dark
go.
cloud that we just touched on.
It's called
Everything but the how.
Everything But, the,
Everything But
How,
the How.
which I love that title.
Everything but the how.
Here it is. Everything, one more time, everybody.
Everything but the how.
Wow, that sounds like we're in grade school.
I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking it might be good. I got no apologies, and I really don't think I should. 'Cause I'm walking with my head turned toward the sky. But I'll find my way when I drop the who, what, where, when, and why. Don't know where I'm going, but it's bound to be someplace good. Maybe climb up a couple of hills, take a long walk through these woods. Maybe find my wings and finally learn to fly. But I'll find my way when I drop the who, what, where, when, and why. No reason for this winter season of mine. Making my way through the dust and the hail. Don't know why I'm running, but I'm running out of time. Always coming down to the wire, and I'm running for my life. For the life of me, I can't remember why. I'll find my way, and I drop the who, what, where, when, and why. I have no use for an empty excuse this time. Moving my how and the doing, and now that I'm fine. Don't know when I'm leaving, but I'm thinking it might be time. I don't know what I'm looking for, and I don't know who I'll find. Baby, find myself before I lose my mind. I'll find my way when I drop the who, what, where, when, and why. I'll find my way when I drop the who, what, where, when, and why. I'll find my way when I drop the who, what, where, when, and why.
Be sure and visit our website at musicstudiolive.com. There you'll find all of our social media links. You're tuned in to Music Studio Live.
That was a great song, Kelly.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Sarah.
No, I really, I do want to say another thank you to Aurora because the upright bass really added a texture
So much
for
fun.
these songs.
That was so. I'm so happy you brought that.
Well, she and I were together earlier today, and she was like, "What do you think? Do you think it'd be okay?" I'm like, "Yes,
I didn't even think about it.
of course."
And then when you said
Bring
you were
it.
bringing both, I'm like, oh, we definitely have to have the upright
Yeah,
bass.
I mean, anytime
Absolutely.
someone says, "Hey, I just happen to have an upright bass in my car," it's like you better go get it. Just go get it. Go get it and play it all the time.
What's on your bucket list next?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Aurora asked, "What's on her bucket list?"
What's on your bucket list?
Musically, I would like to put together a celebration of women in music concert
All right, I'm
series.
out. See ya.
Bye, Daryl.
I can't do anything about that. I can produce the record.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would like to do. I would really love to do just a concert series that would feature all kinds of. Oh, wow, it sounds like Lilith. Sounds like somebody already did that. But seriously, just be able to collaborate with other women musicians, and I love what Aurora's up to with the WDC.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be involved in the Women Don't Conform. It's just fantastic. And musically, I think that a lot of women are stifled and not given respect and credibility because of the fact that we are women.
Me too. I feel the same way. Me too. I just had to say me too.
Yeah, you forgot to say hashtag.
Hashtag me too.
Daryl's like, "Don't hit me."
Don't hit me.
But I met some really fabulous ladies through being on the Melissa Etheridge cruise and traveling. And I was able to do a songwriter festival in Utah called the True Believer.
Awesome.
And
And you're keeping in touch with these people?
Oh yeah.
Great.
They're fantastic people, and I met a girl named Naomi Harlan, who was just fantastic. And it was like when you can musically click with someone, it's really special in a world where most people are strangers, unless you're in like that.
Music is a great
Right.
language to change that. Yeah.
Right, and there's these little clicks and these little circles, and if you're not in, then you're out. But it was a really great opportunity to break open the circle. And another friend of mine, Laura Glida, out of Chicago, like she is just. I love the production on her album, and her music is just, it does something inside of you because she sings with such heart.
Cool.
And then another friend of mine, Nicola Kermy, she lives in Mount Dora, and she's just amazing. Like she can pretty much pick up anything and play it, and she has an incredible voice, and she's got really great vision. So I want to start this collection of all these people and all these women, and just throw them all together and let's just get on a bus and drive around the country for a while.
Yeah.
Or fly, so we can all come home.
Well, that's awesome. And anything I can do, since I met you in Space 39, I've been a big fan of yours. So
Thanks.
anything I can do to help you, just let me know.
Okay.
I'll come.
Sweet. Yeah. Will you come too?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
I've got a bus.
You got a bus?
She actually has a bus, a VW bus.
We'll go. It might break down every other day.
Every other day. Well, I know how to fix cars. So
Oh, yeah, she can fix
yeah,
cars.
I
See,
also-
that's perfect.
And she makes purses.
You make purses?
They're bags, Daryl.
Bags? Do you have one with you?
I'm a dude.
I don't, but they look like that, kind of. I haven't made one in a long time, but I got a sewing machine for my birthday.
Oh.
So
Hashtag me too. No,
I know.
that's not the right
It's
way
so
to do
much fun. It's so much fun. Listen, I'm in like the best relationship ever because she knows exactly what I want.
That's cool.
And we have Home Depot dates.
Oh,
I love that stuff. It's
I
so
know.
fun.
I've
I've been at Joann's every day this week. So
well, Kelly, we
I
want to
get
thank
really
you.
overwhelmed when I go there. I just can't.
I love it.
They're not going to let me say thank you. We want to thank you
Thanks, Daryl.
for being our guest.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thanks, Daryl.
It was very last minute, and I really love the fact that you were able to
I'm so happy I was
kick it
available,
up,
and I'm so happy Aurora
and
was
everybody
available
was
too.
available, and
Glad I showed up.
exactly.
Yeah.
And while we're in the episode still, before we actually say goodbye, I do want to thank Matt Steves and Brent
Yes,
Billman.
thank you guys.
You
They
guys are really
worked
great.
so hard at the lighting and the video, and if you watch us on YouTube, I'm very happy with the outcome of this podcast. And this is episode 10.
Yeah.
10?
So we made it to 10.
10.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So again, Kelly, thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope I get to come back.
That's right.
Totally.
All right.
We love you.
Love you too, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Like Sarah says, bye.
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 Music Studio Live is brought to you in part by defMEDIA Group, Matt Steves Photography, and Sarah Hadeka Enterprises. And our tech guru is Brent Billman. Thank you so much for watching our podcast. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel now, and then hit the little bell icon for future updates. Music Studio Live is a live performance podcast that also talks with singers, songwriters, and music makers about music, songwriting, and life.